Because I cannot believe this is happening. I mean, this is something we have to just talk about because it's part of this culture we live in. Greg Mathis' wife has decided to put a 62-year-old vagina back out there in the game.
I mean, after 39 years of marriage, it must have been years of BS in their marriage.
Corey Holcomb goes in on Judge Mathis getting divorced after 39 years. Can you imagine? Just think about that. Your wife just decides one day to get up and go.
Because I cannot believe this is happening. I mean, this is something we have to just talk about because it's part of this culture we live in. Greg Mathis'
I had it.
wife has decided to put a 62-year-old vagina back out there in the game.
The judge?
His wife is filed for divorce.
Wow.
And I just do not understand what the ladies of America who are over a certain age think when they leave their husbands. What do you think is in this world for you? I'm gonna just say 50 plus. I'm gonna just say 50 plus. 50 plus, leaving your husband. What do you think in this world for you besides fake tits and ass and dick from strangers?
Literally the streets. The streets is what's out there for them. And the streets is something they not gonna like. I'm just gonna tell you.
I just can't imagine what you could be. What are you going to find out there? She was married to this man 39 years.
Yeah.
Now, as a man, I don't root for no man to be going through divorce because you know what I'm saying? That's part of my story. Even though Judge Mathis used to say something I really used to disagree with. When Judge Mathis used to say, whenever you get pregnant by a man, you're supposed to put him on child support no matter what he doing. I'm like, nah, my dude, you don't have the woman go down there and try to split the family. You don't encourage that.
Right.
Child support is a form of splitting the family. It's a calculated way to bring the families in chaos.
Mm-hmm.
But Judge Mathis' wife leaving him, I just don't understand why would men get married in America? What benefit can you get if you are a man who has any works in America? Now, if you're a dude who just got out of jail, marriage is perfect for you. But if you have been working and you plan on working, why would you marry a woman? You have to have the courage to just be like, look, ma'am, I really like your meat, but I will not let it destroy me.
Excuse me.
If I marry you, I am agreeing to a contract that will destroy everything I've worked for.
Yeah, we got to talk about that. Like, what is marriage's true meaning right now? When we have it seems like an uneven agreement right now. And I just got to be honest about that. Like, a lot of women have taken this moment of independence, of success, and, you know, good on them. They've made their way in the world. They've moved themselves up the ladder, but they almost view marriage as an accessory in some ways. I've heard a lot of women say they want a man, they don't need a man, you know, and that type of mentality, it puts men in a position of weakness. It puts men in a position of vulnerability. And a lot of times they're putting their success on the line by going into a marriage because there's such a high divorce rate. With that much divorce going on, can you see how it would be a bad investment for some men, or it might not be as appealing to some men, you know, especially when, you know, you can have long-term relationships without the state being involved in your relationship, you know? It's just not what it used to be. I would say the only thing marriage is for really is for raising children. That's what doesn't get taught. And you have a lot of women saying they don't need a man for that. And we're seeing how that's turning out, unfortunately.
So as much as I like your meat, I might even like your soul and spirit. I cannot go and let you put me on papers for the system.
Look how cute they were when they were young. Look at that.
I mean, you can look at that. Yeah, I heard he got married when he was 25.
Wow.
Can you imagine getting married at 25 and make it all the way to here and your wife left? And I'm going to talk about his wife leaving in a second. I just want to, I want, if y'all want to say something, y'all can say something.
That's sad, man. That really is sad. He pretty much thought he made it. You know what I mean? He made it that long, 39 long years. I mean, there's some people that don't live to see to make it 39 years. And you had a relationship that lasted that long with someone that you grew up with. Because at 25, you were just figuring things out and y'all are struggling together and making your way in the world. But I mean, I don't know what it was that caused her to make that decision this late in the game, but it's sad. It really is.
Because I know what's going to happen.
Yeah, did they say the reason why she left?
No, nobody knows the reason why.
And anytime they
Everybody speculates. I got a speculation on why, but I'm saying it's like,
You're jealous of his success.
no,
Craig,
it
you
happened.
laughing it off, but you are speaking from
He's been successful how long?
No,
I
but
mean,
sometimes people, when they jealous, they try to weaponize
Why does it
their
always have to-
absence. They figure, they be in denial about how much
Competition.
they've contributed to your progress, and sometimes people want to test the market or hurt you by being absent, so they can prove to themselves that they're a bigger part of your success than they really are.
You heard
Wow.
LeBron's wife?
No.
He said, "This is my wife." She said, "I'm not your wife. I'm your partner."
Oh, yeah.
I didn't even, wow.
And that's surprising because a lot of us online were giving Savannah James a lot of props for being in that relationship for as long as she has. But I think now that she's kind of gotten to the podcast game somewhat, and she's decided that she's a public figure as well. I think a lot of the story is coming more into focus, and we're starting to know more of the person she is. And things like that don't sound that much different than this Judge Greg Mathis thing.
This is what I'm saying. Like, we miss some of these internet stories because we do our own shit.
Yes, yeah.
But I'm saying, like, like a woman like LeBron's wife, if she left him, it would just be another point to my argument.
Yeah.
Why would you get married to a woman that was raised in the States? They have no training on how to control their envy.
Wow.
You're a woman. You're jealous. You're like demonic with it. Like we can talk about this. I want to talk about this. This man, I'm not saying I agree with everything Judge Mathis says, because I don't. Some things he said, I just be like, wow. Yeah. But if a woman is married to you for 30, see, you don't understand also, y'all may not know, they moved from Detroit to out here.
Okay.
But I believe a big portion of it is that they started to see. I don't know what she did besides.
You was finna
raising
say
kids.
something. Let it
Wait,
out,
it's
D.
coming,
You
it's
might
coming.
bring the
Quiet.
truth out, you D.
No, I think when you start involving Hollywood and all that phoniness on top of your relationship, you're asking for that. It's big interference because they came in, they did the reality show. You start getting the kids involved, then you get other money, and then he already had previous stories. I don't know. Okay, I don't know if you guys have seen the.
What are the previous stories? Because all I see is.
Of course, infidelity.
Allegedly. We're talking about a lawyer here. We're talking about a lawyer and a judge here. Everything that is being said is alleged. I have to make that very clear. It would get litigious.
I see is him holding his wife up in the
I know,
air.
but of
Judge
course
Mathis,
there was some
Judge
infidelity
Mathis.
stuff because it was somebody that was saying they were pregnant. Oh yeah, wait a second. Now this
D, you know this for a fact.
for a fact. Listen, you can look it up.
Allegedly.
Listen.
We listen.
No, listen. Many years ago, when Wendy Williams was heavy on the radio, right? If you look it up,
And the cocaine.
Oh, yeah.
they have one of the worst. Or if somebody wants,
I heard that exchange between him and Wendy
I was gonna
Williams.
say that one of the worst
Wendy Williams was
exchanges.
trying to
But that's
do
her-
the
wait
same
a
thing
second.
people do to me. She was coming with all this shit, but where's the proof?
But here's the thing, though. That's what.
Yeah, that was a rough one. That argument, if y'all don't remember that,
anyone that knows my show know that I don't take any disrespect, or I don't let anybody say anything they want to me without me checking them real strong and real tough. And that's what you're getting today, Wendy. You're getting a real good checking. All right, which is what you need, and quite frankly, it's overdue.
Classic grudge match, man. They went at it.
What she did at the time of her show, he went on there. So I'm not saying it's okay. I've never agreed with a lot of this
He
stuff.
got that bitch.
But
He overtalked that bitch.
He got her good. But
He's a lawyer.
I'm just saying that there was stuff previously like that, and they made it through because that was many years ago. So they still stayed together. I mean,
make
who
one
knows?
another point
And wait, listen, and a
What'd you
lot of
say?
after her.
and a lot of people, one of the most popular, if not the popular reason that couples get divorced is irreconcilable differences. Now, do you know what that means, actually?
That means
What
the
that
bitch
covers?
ain't got a solid reason for pulling the sucker shit. That's what irreconcilable differences mean. I really can't think of why I'm doing this, but I'm doing it. That's what irreconcilable differences mean.
on either
Could that go back to Corey's point about the Western woman? Because I wouldn't say it's just the American woman, the Western woman. They're doing something that is totally out of their control. They're following their programming that they're getting from this culture that says that if you are unhappy in a relationship, you have to quit that relationship in as quick a fashion as possible and extract as much resources as you can as possible. Because I think that's baked into the culture now. That is starting to be pervasive. They're like, well, it's always this parachute emergency hatch switch that they can turn on and say, hey, I want to be out of this and I want half of what you got or more, and the kids. So I think that's part of it. Because I think, when they always look back at in the days and they talk about our grandparents having long-term relationships, they fail to leave out that grandma wasn't leaving that situation. She had equity in that situation. She appreciated that situation, and she wasn't leaving. In fact, after grandpa was gone, she's going to collect the pension after he's gone. So it's better for her to finish out the term. Whereas now, it's probably more beneficial for women to hit the escape hatch.
Irreconcilable differences mean.
on either person's part. So what it means is fundamental disagreements or conflicts that are impossible to resolve or harmonize. In other words, they supposedly, whatever conflicts they're trying to resolve, they can never come to an agreement. So, but why would you, just say, okay, we can't figure this out, but we love each other. My thing to at the end of the day is that, when people do it, you got all these kids, you got all that substance, all those years together. I don't get it either. At this point, when it's this long and you never really heard no horrible stuff about them, I say why? Because it's just you're older now.
I know why.
Okay, go ahead. Well, now again, we're assuming, right? You're making assumptions.
I don't have to assume. I'm telling you what happens in the United States
No, I'm
of
talking about
America,
them
and you
specifically.
can look at the statistics, and it'll show you.
All right.
Well, it's pretty hard to argue that. But Craig, you had a point.
Yeah, I think it's avoidance too. It's like the more successful a man is, the more accountable a woman has to be for her own actions. So when women date broke niggas, they could blame him for everything.
Wow.
The way they feel, they childhood, how they, everything you can blame on a nigga that ain't shit. But when a nigga got money, it's like all the problems is basically solved. So all the frustrations and all the self-hate you got, you can't say it's my fault because I'm taking care of business. You got to look at you, and you got to do the work for you to be the best.
They be
woman
mad
can
if
be.
you take care of business. They say you work too much.
Yeah.
Tell me about
That's
it.
But I
what
do
it
think this is extremely sad, as couples go, because their reality show was based on that, like that how good they got along and their family. I mean, one of his main thing was like that, like family, promoting that, and they were actually supposed to have another season, and he said, "This is my life. Like this is what."
Yeah, this will definitely be a hit on his moral superiority angle. A lot of times, the clips of the show would have him having a conversation with somebody that came into his court and kind of, talking down. He had that high ground before, but will he necessarily have that high ground anymore now that his life has really come into focus in this way? Nothing's perfect. You know what I mean? Like, my heart goes out to him because, like I said, 39 years. I mean, he's going to be fine, obviously. He's well off. He's been in the game for a long time. Well, they did move to California. I think that's what they were saying. If they live in California, it's definitely 50-50 out in California.
Makes me whole. Like he speaks highly of
I'm gonna tell you something.
So this is kind of
all you guys in America, you have to listen to me because I'm not saying I'm God, but I'm close to that when it comes to this. Listen to me. Every day your woman leaves the house without you, you are losing her. If your woman has to work a job in order to make ends meet, you are losing your woman because your woman is under the influence of things in the street.
Outside.
We live in a society where it's very difficult for people to make it on one income.
Absolutely.
It's difficult to make it on one income, and you have to try and endure your wife being under the influence of a job and the people at her job and everything else. Your wife really is supposed to be at home making sure the dishes are clean and the floor is spotless when you walk in there. If she's not doing that, she is being taken away from you. If your woman runs the streets, even if it's to get up every morning and go to work, she's being taken away from you. Her place is to be there for you.
Because how many women are going out there having a workplace romance? They got a work husband. Every lunch break, they going downstairs somewhere and sneaking off. It's happening a lot. How many women are trying to get that promotion? They decide to do something a little strange to catch the boss's favor. That possibility is there. And I think that's what Corey really is talking about, the possibility of influence, of outside influence on your relationship.
It's just you've been trained not to say that. You've been trained not to say that. Let me tell you something. If I got a woman, I don't want my woman working no job because I know what goes on when you go to work. When you go to work, my influence over you is being pushed away. So if I have a woman, she can't work a regular job. She has to work for me. What I need her to do and what she comes up with for me, that's your job. You can't be in the streets if your woman.
I think that's why a lot of careerist women have a hard time maintaining relationships because they do have their focus kind of separated. And they also have a hard time getting in relationships with people on their level because a lot of men that command a lot, that make a lot of money, that are high value are not necessarily going to see eye to eye with this woman that is also a careerist, that is also out there, that is trying to get, trying to get deals, That's why they always end up, they normally end up with somebody in a lower station than them. And sometimes they end up with somebody that is on the same station as them. But for your average run-of-the-mill woman, they're not super high earning. That's how Ebony K. Williams wanted to make people think. She was putting her problems of a lawyer and a television personality onto the average woman and saying that this is why you need to think this way, when a lot of women aren't in that position. You got women now working at Walmart that are telling men that they not on their level. So very interesting. This was a great conversation. It's definitely, they took their time on this one. They did several sections purely based on this. So make sure you go over to Corey's channel and check out this Judge Mathis story. Check out the whole live stream. It was a good show. Yeah, man, that's crazy. I can't imagine putting 39 years into a marriage and then she just walks away. She walks away and commits herself back to the streets. What is out there for her in the streets? What is awaiting a 60-plus-year-old woman? What is really awaiting a woman out there in her 60s? A lot of women have this this moment, this itch to get back out there in the streets. And their situation might not be ideal, but they have to think about the fact that they're going back out into a dating market that has left them behind. And that's why you see a lot of things like what happened with Richard Lawson and Beyonce's mother, Tina Knowles. That relationship became almost, from what I'm hearing, it became a little off balance. Richard Lawson was an accomplished actor in his own right. He had been working for years in the profession and done some great things. But getting with Beyonce's mom, you now become part of her program. And I think she had that kind of control that she was, probably not the best. It probably wasn't the best situation for Richard Lawson. I'm sure he's a lot happier being out of the relationship now. But, that's what it is to get married in your older age after you've divorced and you've gone on with your life. You left your first husband that you were with and you raised your children with. Now you've gone off and done this next thing. And it's kind of like there can be friction. If the man is his own man, there's inherently going to be friction most of the time, especially if she comes in that power position. But very interesting conversation. We could talk about this for hours. But anyway, if you like this video, like, comment, subscribe. Hit the bell notification for all uploads. If you want to watch more, please watch one of these videos down below. Make sure you sign up for the newsletter. That way you can stay up to date on all things Faucette Media. And you can book a consultation with Faucette Media one-on-one, where we can discuss strategies on how to build your YouTube business, on how to build your media company, the social media components you need to build your business and build it faster. I've got over 20 years experience in the entertainment industry. I've got training from some of the best people in these professions. I want to impart my wisdom to you. Sign up for a consultation. It'll be one of the best things you do. It's a small price to pay for the exponential rewards you can find. This is Faucette Media.